Okay, g'day fellow hustlers, it's Shadow here. Just gonna take you through uh, the dungeon. Look, I've only run this a few times myself, so I'm not completely up to scratch on it. But I seem to go really well with Oops from Rebellion. We've got squads that seem to complement each other really well. Straight off the bat, I can see for the first time, I've never seen the first stage be on the right hand side like this. It's random, completely random. The map changes every time you play the game. You never know where you're going to start. First thing I'll show you, if you look down the bottom of the screen, it will show me on the left there with a crown, so I'm controlling things. I choose where we go. First stage, obviously, you have no real choice. There's only one stage to choose from. Every time you choose a stage, there'll be random amounts of people you can take with you. So this time it's two each, and Oops has his hero that comes along. Now I like to hold back a bit and watch what my opponent's not opponent compatriot has taken. So he's got a tank, and this is really good. If you've got a tank, increases health and heals sword. It's really good for this. And he's got a restore mage, which is really clever as well. You don't need a res mage at the start of these. So because he's taken a tank, I'm going to take an archer. And I'm also going to take a heal mage as well. Basically, the first stages are pretty easy. So you just want to retain as much health as you possibly can. So a couple of heal mages and a tank and an archer are pretty good. So you'll see we don't really lose much health here. Now, I'll say now the types of teams you want to take with you. If you can, there's a couple of weapons that are really, really good. One's one that deals damage. It's a mage weapon that deals damage and recovers health to the person on your team that has the least amount of health. I don't have that. I don't think Oops has it either, but it's a really good weapon to take. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut myself off here and show you these guys. These guys attack ranged units. You see the bats, they attack ranged units, so try not to take archers with these guys. It's really really not good. Okay, and keep your eye on this page here. Your clanmate will send you messages here, so it's good to keep your eye on that one. So he's got his tank again, which is good. He's got his heal mage, which is good, and he's got a res mage. He's got that because there's 3 stages here, so there's a good chance someone might die. I'm just going to check his res mage. Yeah, okay, so I don't need to take a res mage, as his one should keep us both going. I'm going to take Mist, who teleports behind. This is really good for these range units. He kills them off pretty quickly, so I'm going to take him. He's got a tank, so 2 tanks is good enough. I'm going to take my heal mage once again. I'm also going to take this. This is a must if you have it. The event orb, the one that deals damage and instant kills at 35%, and distributes the health amongst your guys. Really, really good for these stages, or for every stage. So I'll take these guys and we'll see how we go. If I don't sound like I normally do, I've been drinking quite a bit tonight. So you've got a drunk Shadow tonight taking you through this. I'll try not to slur my words too much. Okay, so you see we got through that really well. Not a lot of health lost. And still we don't really have much of a selection on where we can go. After this stage, we'll be able to go to the right or to the left. This is the weirdest map I've seen so far. The good thing about this, as you'll see that stage there that I've just tried to click on, it says previous delete, is the scales there. You'll see it right above Arena of Sorrow. I won't have to do that till the end, which is really good. It's a balanced stage. It's where you choose a positive and negative effect. You really want to avoid that if you can. The negative effects is usually a lot worse than the positive effect you get out of it. So every time you choose a new stage, I recommend clicking on the enemy squad, having a quick look at what you're up against. So increased attack range, preferred target mages. So that's really dangerous. You want to take out these guys that destroy your mages, and when you have those, you yeah, well, this isn't the best what he's got here, but we'll see how we go. I'd only use a couple of res mages. Because this guy attacks mages, and we might lose them, I'm going to chuck my res mage in there with him. So we've got two of them. He's got his tank in there again, so I'm not going to use mine yet. My tank's really strong, but I'm going to save him for now and use my teleporting tank. That might take out these guys that attack your mages. So I'll chuck in my archer. As a fourth, I'm not 100% sure who to take as a fourth just now, because I don't want to lose my my mages. I might chuck my other tank in there. Alright, let's give that a go. So you can see one mage already died and got rezzed. That wasn't too bad. That was actually quite good. As I've said, we seem to complement each other really well. Now, I recommend trying to take the path of least resistance to the bosses. Unfortunately, with this map, it's going to be hard to do that. So I'm going to avoid Altar of Wrath for now. This stage and the next stage, I don't need to do those till the end because there's no bosses in that direction. So I'm going to go Halls of Pain and try and get to the bosses as quick as possible. So once again, check out your squads. So these ones don't attack ranged units. Not all of your opponents will attack ranged units. So these ones, it's good to do a bit of a good mix here. So once again, I'll check out. He's got his tank, got his heal mage. He's got the Eventor mage, so I won't use my one. And he's got his res mage. I'm gonna bring. I've got 4 choices here, so I'm gonna bring my res mage as well in case his dies. I'm gonna bring my tank. I'm gonna bring my archer, and my teleporting tank. So that should give us a good mix. So once again, yeah, we've done quite well. So you'll see what I was talking about before. It's known as invisible influence. Try and avoid this as much as possible. The negative effects usually are a lot worse than the positive effects. So see, we can see crit will increase by 80%. Crit's not real crash hard anyway, so that's not good. Dodge increased by 70%. Dodge isn't bad, but once again, it's a random effect, so it's not that crash hot. And health increased by 10%. That's not a lot. So as opposed to dodge reduced by 60%. The health of warriors in the squad will be reduced by 45%. That's terrible. Magic armor of mages and score will be reduced by 65%. That's not that bad, really. But we try and avoid that as much as possible and don't really worry about it. Aha, and you can see here the guy I'm with. He's probably right. Let's just go back and have a look at that. So if we look at the mage dodge, dodge of mages will be increased by 70%, as opposed to will be reduced by 60%. So he's right, an increase by 10%. So we'll go ahead and do that. Let me just reply to him. So this will give us an overall bonus of 10% on dodges of our mages. So it's quite clever. I'm actually really impressed he noticed that. Okay, so we're going to stay away from Altar of Wrath again, and we'll go to Land of the Dead. It's a 3-stager. So this guy's got preferred target ranged units. So you want to avoid your archers again. So once again, I'm going to go with my main tank. I'm going to leave my archer out. Put my teleporting tank in. Put my res guy in. And I'm going to put in my 35% healer. No, he's putting his archer in here. I don't know if he's noticed about the ranged units. Not everyone does. I'm not going to suggest he takes that guy out because it's not always bad to have one at the back there. We've got 2 res mages, so he'll be brought back if he does die. You can see the archer getting destroyed at the back there, losing a lot of health. And you see he's already been res once. Not too bad, but my mage lost a bit more health than I would have liked. But on a whole, it's still pretty good. Right, so at the moment I've got 2 choices, or 3 choices of where I want to go, but I've already stated Altar of Wrath is out of the question. There's 2 bosses in this. So Shelter of the Outcast, there's only 2 stages to get to the boss. Abode of Evil, there's 3. So we'll go with Shelter of the Outcast to start with. 2.2 mil, which isn't too bad. Just check preferred target extremely long range soldiers. So once again, these guys will attack archers. Yeah, extremely long range soldiers. So these guys attack archers, except for one which will attack mages. So once again, we'll need 2 res mages. So I'll put one res mage in. I'm going to chuck my tank in. And my other tank, the one that teleports behind, takes these guys out. So he's added his heal tank, his res mage. And let's see who his third choices. Good, I like that. The mage that heals. That's good. So you can see his archer got taken out straight away, which is why I don't put one in on these stages. These guys that attack long range units, they wipe out your archers pretty quick, so I avoid putting them in there. Right, so we can go straight to our first boss. So you can see at the moment there's still only 5 stages to go. Sorry, 6 stages to go. We're going pretty good so far. Haven't had to res any of our guys using diamonds, which is really good. Right, so this is a boss I've seen once before. Enhanced crit, once in a while, cast rock slide, instantly killing all enemies in the affected area. Each time the area affected by rock slide grows bigger. This is a really dangerous boss. I really don't like him. And because of that, I'm going to skip that and I'm going to go the other direction. He's a nightmare of a boss. So we're going to go this way. I'm going to let Oops know why. Right, so we'll quickly go through and check out these ones. So once again, we've got a guy that attacks archers, one that attacks mages. So only one of each. That's not too bad. And he's got 3 mages. There's good res mage. There's good restore. And the heal one. So I'll chuck in this guy, my normal tank. You again. My res mage. I think I might throw in my heal mage as well. Haven't used that one yet. It might be a good idea. So he agrees, which is really good. Oops is really clever when it comes to these. The last 2 times we've run this, we've managed to get through the entire stage without dying, without having to res anyone, without using any diamonds at all. So as you can see, we're getting through this pretty well without a great loss of health at the moment. Lost a couple of guys getting resed. Unfortunately, I think we both lost the heal mage there. That didn't get resed at the end there, which is really disappointing. But if I'm going to lose someone, it's going to be the heal mage. I'm not too worried about that. So we'll go to Chambers of Evil. And you'll see here, once again, long ranged. Increase attack range, prefer target mages again. And extremely long ranged again. That's kind of frustrating. So you can see here, I lost my heal mage, which I'm not too worried about. So once again, throw my tank in, my teleporting tank, and my res mage. So he's got his health tank, which is really good. His res mage, which we need. He's throwing an archer in there. Not the best, but we'll keep him. It looks like he's resurrected his heal mage. I wouldn't have worried about that. Not till the last stage anyway, but seems to think he needs it. So that's really disappointing. I lost my res mage, and his res mage doesn't seem to be kicking. Ah, there we go. That was helpful. So my hero really helped us out there. Because that was my hero that came along, he's got mass res. When we get down to one opponent, he reses our entire crew. So that's really, really helped us there. Even though we don't have a lot of health left, that's at least brought all of our guys back. So this is the next boss. Interesting. Insanity is repeating the same thing over and over, time after time, in the hope of change. Following this logic, the summoner is insane. Whatever he does, he comes up with a new spell every time. Right, so you just want a good mix here. So what's really good here is I've saved this person till last. My stun. I use this on the bosses. It stops them doing anything. I've got a second backup res mage there. He's using his 35% as a kill, so I don't have to use mine. I'll chuck my archer in, who hasn't been hurt much, and I'll throw in my tank as well. We should go quite well there. Yep. So we've got a good mix there. I think we should do quite well against this boss. Saving your stun mages for the bosses is really good, because there's only one person. I'd definitely stun that one person. So as you can see, that was really, really good. We absolutely destroyed that boss. Now you'll see a side effect. He just lost his 35% insta-kill mage. That's because a lot of these bosses deflect damage. So your insta-kill mage, when it insta-kills the boss, like it did then when it got down to 35%, it also insta-kills your mage that dealt the damage. Yeah, so yeah, that was really good though. We came out of that with a lot of health. So for now, we're going to wipe out these last two stages before we go to the last boss, just to maximize the amount of points we get. And the good thing is we come out of that with a lot of health. So once again, check this out. Range unit, that's not bad. So yeah, prefer target range units again. Prefer not to have archers. So I'll put my I'm going to put one archer. Oh, he's got his archer in there. I might have to remove that now. But my other guys aren't on that much health. So I'm not real sure on this, to be honest. I'm debating who to use. There's no point putting my stun in there. I need it for the last round. I'm going to go for another res. Alright, let's give this a go. So as you can see, the main point of all this is to really think about your opponents. You need to look at who you're fighting and select your team depending on who you're up against. Don't just chuck any old person in there. Don't chuck your strongest people in there. Your strongest people aren't always the best people for the fight. Alright, so 2 stages left. As stated before, I'm leaving smoke chambers till last. You'll see why when we get there. It's probably the worst boss that you can come up against. And I'm actually a bit nervous about coming up against him, to be honest. Really, really would prefer not to fight them. Right. Last round before we fight this deadly boss that I don't want to. I really don't want to go up against this guy. Regardless of how we go against the last boss, we've done really well. as you can see, we've gotten up to him without a great loss of fighters. I just lost my res mage, which isn't too bad because, like I said, I've got another res mage in backup. That's the one with spellcaster though, which is my best res mage. But I'm pretty sure he's still got his one with spellcaster, so that doesn't really matter. And the good thing is we get to take 8 fighters all up. So with this guy, you need a good mix. So you take your tank, you take your archer. I take my stun mage. As you can see, he's got his resurrected, which is really good. What's he got here? It's a restore. I'm a bit worried with only taking one res, because if this res guy dies, well, not so good. He's changed to an archer. That allows me to remove my archer and have a second res mage in there. Yeah, that's good. So I've got my insta kill in there, which is what you need. I've got my stun mage in there, who's on nearly full health. I've got my res there. We should go quite well here. Fingers crossed we kill this guy quickly, because you'll see this landslide. It just wipes out an entire line in one go. It's really, really dangerous. See, there you go. He just wiped out the archers in one go. Once again, he wiped out the archers in one go. And he's dead. That was spectacular. That was the best I've ever seen us go against that guy. Really, really happy with that. So, yeah, that's it. You've just seen us go through the entire dungeon. And we haven't lost... well, we've lost guys, but we haven't needed to use any diamond reses. So I'll thank my partner here. Yeah, so thanks for watching my video. If you got any questions, you probably do. The dungeon's really tough. It's not easy. It changes every time. There's a multiple amount of bosses. Each boss takes different things to beat. So I'll probably do another video soon on this. And yeah, like I said, if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section, and I'll try and answer you as best I can. Cheers, hustlers. I'll catch you next time.